Welcome once again to this week's edition of An Irritable Person's Mailbag, during which I will enunciate clearly everything you could have read Monday through Friday on my Substack, Ask an Irritable Person. Monday. Dear Irritable Person, I'm a masochist, so I decided to write to you for advice. I find it hard to get off the couch. Fortunately, I'm wealthy, so I don't have to get off the couch. Should I give away my fortune so that I have to get off the couch? What if I give away all my money and still can't get off the couch? Then I'm really screwed, aren't I? I don't like that plan. Never mind. Since I am unable to come up with a plan, I'll ask you. How can I get myself off the couch? Sincerely, Masochist. P.S. My wealth was inherited. I didn't work for it, so be sure to ding me for that too. Thanks. Dear Masochist, you've come to the right place, usually. But since you want me to hurt you so very badly, I refuse to hurt you. There's no fun in it for me. However, if you're half the masochist I think you are, you will find my refusal to hurt you hurtful, so it's a win-win for both of us. Good decision on your part to hold on to your fortune. That's some sound decision-making right there. Stick a pin in that, deeply. How do you get off the couch? You swing your legs around so that your feet are flat on the floor while simultaneously raising your torso. Pause. Stand. That's fucking it. Then you find wherever you last dropped your phone and start calling psychiatrists. You are depressed. That's what's ailing you. It's not a character flaw. It's a disease. Get treatment. If I ran the country, don't get me started. Weekly mental health appointments would be fucking mandatory and free. Once you are off the couch for a few minutes, you are going to be faced with decisions. Do I turn left or do I turn right? Am I hungry? What should I eat? At this point, your mind will explode a little. Take a breath and make a decision. Any decision. If you have pasta for lunch rather than a hamburger, so what? There's no right or wrong answer there that I can see. Although personally, I'd go for the hamburger. You may make a decision where there actually is a right or wrong choice. For example, should I keep my current financial advisor or look for a new one? In these cases, just remember that not making a choice is making a choice. And you made one good financial decision in your email when you decided not to squander your fortune. So based on your email, you're batting 1,000 in the decision-making department. Have a little faith in yourself, you miserable worm. Hope you enjoyed that moment of pointless name-calling, and you're welcome. I know. What if I make the wrong decision? What if I make a mistake? Well, I've got good news. You're going to make mistakes. Lots of them. Try to remember that your wealth will insulate you from the consequences. Even if you weren't wealthy, so what? Poor people make mistakes all the time. We survive all of them, except maybe the last one. Oops, should have looked both ways before stepping off that curb. In fact, it's highly likely that you will survive all of your mistakes, right up to the moment that the universe, with its perverse sense of humor, takes you out through no fault of your own. Andy Kaufman, who hadn't smoked for years before his death, died of lung cancer. Ha-ha! Chortled the universe! So really, why worry? I'm not worried about you. Well, I am, but I'm trying to raise your spirits, so I lied. Seriously, get help. Sincerely, Irritable Person. Tuesday. Dear Irritable Person, I am having terrible trouble with insomnia. I lie in bed for hours, tossing and turning, stressing out about my inability to fall asleep, and not only do I not fall asleep, but I don't even feel remotely sleepy. For the life of me, I just can't Sorry, I fell asleep at my desk as I was writing this. My forehead used my laptop keyboard as a pillow and just kept pressing keys. I typed a bunch of gobbledygook, but I'm just going to leave it as it is and plow forward because lately I've noticed that I will be in the middle of doing something like writing this email and then suddenly '09 asks, let's go. It happened again. I did more sleep typing. But the hell with editing. I'm just going to press on because this is what happens. I'll be in the middle of doing something and then wake. Thank goodness I pass out every now and then. Otherwise I wouldn't get any rest at all. It happened again. I woke up just now in my chair, spilled tea leaving a wet patch that makes it look like I had an incontinent moment. For all I know, I did. But I'm just going to keep writing this and not go back and edit it because I never know when I'm going to and I've been trying to write this email for 3 days now. Anyway, I'll wrap this up. Basically, I just wanted to ask you what you know about melatonin. I've heard it's good for sleep. Do you think I should start taking it? And if so, when and at what dosage? I've heard conflicting advice, and I'm hoping you too look at the salt situation. Sincerely, Insomniac. Dear Insomniac, I guess you haven't realized it yet, so let me be the first to break through your stunning lack of self-awareness. That email you sent me is an excellent cure for insomnia. It made me fall asleep again and again. It took me several attempts before I could read it all the way through. It doesn't seem like you have trouble falling asleep. You have trouble falling asleep when you tell yourself you're supposed to go to sleep, aka when you're lying in bed. I don't know shit about melatonin, but here's what I would suggest. Lie in bed and reread your email to me. Instead of stressing yourself out, worrying that you're not going to fall asleep, tell yourself that you do not want to go to sleep. All you want to do is to read your boring, whiny email over and over until dawn's early light. You'll fall asleep sooner than you can say lockjaw axles elk bumper cars. You are a perverse creature. I salute you. Nighty night, irritable person. Wednesday. Dear irritable person, I was crossing a street today with the light. I was totally justified in crossing the street. I had the right of way. When suddenly I saw a maroon Tesla coming down the cross street, signaling to make a right on red and right into me. I felt sure that I was a dead man. This right-wing asshole was going to run me over and then declare me as a dependent on his income taxes so he'd be due a refund. I got a good look at the driver, the man who was about to kill me without a hint of remorse. An old, angry-looking white guy was behind the wheel of that Tesla. My doom was certain. How come I never got around to making my will? Now my douchebag cousins are going to get everything. In that last split second, I thought to myself, does the driver know I didn't vote for Trump and that I hate Elon? Should I have gone to those Tesla dealership protests wearing a fake mustache and glasses so they couldn't identify me? They knew who I was. The bastard had been lying in wait for me. I'd fallen right into their trap. Except, I'm clearly not dead, or I wouldn't be writing to you. The old angry white Tesla driver came to a stop even before he'd rounded the corner. Okay, before he'd completely rounded the corner, but he was still several yards away. I was astounded. He let me cross the street safely. A Tesla driver. Have I been wrong about them? Are Tesla drivers not the black-hearted fascists I've imagined them to be? And if I've been wrong about them, is it possible, gulp, that maybe Elon isn't the huge honking dick that I thought he was? Do I need to change my entire worldview because one rando didn't commit vehicular manslaughter on my ass? Sincerely, Confused. Dear Confused, you're paranoid as hell and jumping to ridiculous conclusions, so my advice for you is less cocaine and more weed. You need to even out, brother. Do you really think Big Brother is out to get you because you went to a few protests? Do you know who else has been protesting Trump and Elon? Several million of your fellow citizens at this point, and it's not even May Day yet. So what? You went to a few protests. It's not like you did something radically subversive like write a pro-Palestinian opinion piece for your school paper. Protesting Elon is in. It's this year's Macarena. Why would you want to give up hating Elon? It wasn't Elon who neglected to murder you today. If it had been Elon driving that maroon Tesla, the only reason he would not run you down like a dog would be his concern that committing vehicular manslaughter might sink Tesla's stock price to single digits. I can assure you that all objective evidence indicates that Elon absolutely is and will forever remain a dick. Regarding Tesla drivers, well, they're a mixed bag, aren't they? The law of averages tells us that some of them, perhaps the majority, must be dicks. This is particularly true among Cybertruck owners. I'm pretty sure that I saw a poll recently that said a higher percentage of Tesla drivers self-identify as dicks compared with, say, Honda drivers. Or maybe I'm just making that up, but it feels right. Not all Tesla drivers are dicks. Some Tesla drivers are just victims. You can identify with that, can't you, you left-wing pond scum? Except where you are the victim of corporate Democrats who line their pockets while professing solidarity with the working man, Tesla drivers are victims of tech bro hype and the absolutely hilarious great man theories of history and economics. Have any of you tried to sit through an entire lunch with Howard Lutnick? By the end, your ears will be ringing and your wallet will be lighter. Try believing in great men after that god-awful experience. Having said that, until you know whether any particular Tesla driver is a dick or a victim, feel free to keep shouting at them to sell their Teslas all you want. We still, as of this writing, have freedom of speech in this country. And if they call you a dick for shouting at them, well, we still have freedom of speech in this country. As the past few months have shown, America is still a country where we can all be dicks. Exasperated with you, irritable person. Thursday. Dear irritable person, what the hell? I mean, seriously, what the hell? I thought things were supposed to get better once we got our guy back in the White House. Now you've got all these protesters out in the streets complaining about the way the white male ruling class is running things. I mean, how ungrateful are these people? I'm feeling pretty downtrodden, frankly. Where's the appreciation for all our hard work? How about a little basic human decency, you bunch of rabble-rousing numbnuts and freaks? Why can't all these disgruntled feminists, foreigners, and paid protesters go back where they came from, specifically the kitchen, El Salvador, and George Soros's guest house? When do things start getting better for white men? Angrily, another angry white man. Dear angry white man, let me be clear. You're doomed. We're doomed, and by we I mean privileged white men. What we're living through right now is the last desperate gasp of a brain-addled, inbred ruling class that's trying to take us back to the 1890s when life was better. After all, do we really need penicillin anymore? I've got bad news for you. Things are already pretty good for white men. Let's face it, we peaked in the 50s, the 1850s, and the fact that we're still on top is pretty incredible. Whether you think incredible means great or hard to believe is up to you. And here's some more bad news. It's only going to get worse for us white guys. Pete Hegseth alone is really dragging our reputation. That dude gives white privilege a smudgy patina of dried horseshit, and he's taking all the other straight white men down with him. While he's getting foundation applied in his bespoke makeup studio before his next TV appearance, his wife is running the Pentagon. The world is upside down. On the brighter side, we white men do seem, as a group, to be pretty fucking incompetent, particularly since the turn of the century. So how about this, white men? Let's just settle back into our recliners, crack open a beer, and watch sports. Let's give everyone else, literally everyone else, a chance to run the world. We've done enough. Sincerely, irritable person. Friday. Dear irritable person, I've been spiraling down into a whirlpool of negativity that threatens to consume my hopes and dreams, and for some perverse reason I've decided that the best thing I can do about it is to write to you for advice. I have a day job at an ad agency, but my real passion for my entire adult life has been creating visual art, from oil on canvas in the 1990s to digital in the 2020s. I've always thought of myself as an artist who happens to make her money designing feminine hygiene ads. I've sold some of my personal artwork here and there, and have had gallery shows, and I've always considered myself an artist. Until recently, when I confided in my fiancé that I was thinking about quitting my job and working full-time on my art. He blew a gasket. He told me I was crazy, that I was an ad executive with delusions of artistry. It was quite a shock to find out this is what he really thinks of me. I thought I knew him through and through. After all, we've been engaged for 5 years. I'm a big believer in long engagements. Since my fiancé and I had this talk, I haven't felt motivated to work on my artwork at all. Should I give up on my artistic dreams? Sincerely, frustrated artist. Dear wallowing in negativity. That's right, you oozing canker sore, I renamed you. You're not so much a frustrated artist as you are wallowing in negativity. Regarding negativity, generally, I'm all for it. I am negative just about all of the time, about everything, and particularly about people like you who write to complete strangers, turn over all of their own power and agency to them, and follow whatever cockamamie scheme the stranger whimsically pulls out of their ass and flings at them. But my negativity comes from deep within, from the depths of my own cankered, tortured soul. I don't let other people imprint their negativity upon me. I create my own. By the way, if you've read up to this point and you haven't yet broken off your engagement, you haven't been paying attention. Break up with this bozo. You're a big believer in long engagements? Bullshit. You just know deep down that you shouldn't marry this idiot. I suggest you stop waiting for them to break up with you and do the deed yourself. Also, please videotape the moment and send me a copy. I'd love to see the look on his face. But that's just me being negative again. Sincerely, Irritable Person. And that's it for this week's mailbag. Look for Irritable Person's weekly catch-up audio mailbag every Sunday, and follow the daily column Ask an Irritable Person every Monday through Friday on Substack. Or subscribe. It's free and virtually certain to remain so for the foreseeable future.